Welcome to this channel. My name is Precious. I'm a news reporter, and today we have a guest who is Dr. Fiona Benko. So welcome, Dr. Fiona.
Thank you very much, Precious.
Thank you. As you know, today we are going to talk a little bit about global health, and we are going to learn more from Dr. Fiona. And you know, Dr. Fiona, I'm having few questions related to global health that I will be asking to you so that we can have an idea about it.
Okay.
So my first question is, global health seems to be in the news more and more in recent years. Talk about what global health is and why is it important to pay attention on this?
Thank you very much, Precious, for that question. So first of all, what we need to do is to separate the two words. So we have global and we also have health. So global means something worldwide. It's like the whole world. And then for health, this is wellness in the dimensions of health, such as physical, mental, and social well-being. So when we try to combine these two words, so we find that global health focuses on the well-being of people physically, mentally, and socially worldwide. So why is it important? Then global health help us to find some solutions for some issues globally. Like for example, when there is an outbreak of a disease, then through global health, that is where scientists or healthcare workers can find solutions through research, and then after that, they just do research upon those issues in order to find a very nice solution for them to solve that problem. And another thing, global health helps to bring people together. Like for instance, a healthcare worker or a scientist, they come together, they collaborate in order to find some solutions of some issues.
Okay, so you know disease can come to us in different ways, right?
Yes,
So
sure.
can you just explain the difference between communicable and non-communicable disease?
So, in my view, I think communicable diseases are those diseases which can be transmitted from one person to another. So this can be through contact with that person, or maybe it can be airborne. So when maybe you sit with someone who has been infected with that communicable diseases, so that you can be able to get it. For instance, I can give an example of Ebola, and another example is HIV, which is contracted through sexual intercourse. So that one is a communicable disease. When one person has it, then you can also be infected by it. But for non-communicable diseases, this cannot be transmitted from one person to another. For instance, we have cardiovascular diseases such as diabetes, and also we have heart disease, which cannot be transmitted from one person to another. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Ebola. Since I'm sure that most of our viewers have heard a lot about that. So what is it? Is it a communicable or non-communicable disease, and how do people get it?
So Ebola, as I talked about it earlier, I gave it as an example earlier. So Ebola is a disease which is caused by a virus called Ebola. Actually, it comes from that name. So this disease is one of the deadliest ones. Is one of them, but is not the most deadliest. So people get Ebola, they get Ebola virus through coming to direct contact with a person who is infected, or just touching items that are being contaminated with the fluids of that person. So when you touch them, you can be able to get it. Or when you're in a direct contact with that person, and that person has some fluids on him or her, then you can be able to contact that Ebola. Yeah.
So it is a communicable disease.
Yeah, it's a communicable disease.
So what would raise a person's risk of getting Ebola?
So I think what would raise is that, as I've said earlier, coming into contact with fluids of a person who has been infected or died because of that Ebola virus disease. So maybe there are some people who have been able to die because of Ebola, and then like when you go there and you handle that person, then you can be able to get that disease. Another thing is touching objects or items that have been contaminated with the fluids of that person who has been infected. For instance, let's say a needle or like a syringe. When you touch it and it has blood or sweat even of that person, you can be able to get that disease. And also we have sexual contact with a man who has recovered from that disease. You can be able to get it. You might ask how, because that disease might be on the semen of that person. So you should just be able to try to wait first and then try to find out if that person really has that semen.
So to prevent or at least listen to the chance of getting Ebola, what should people do?
What you should do is, first of all, avoid coming into contact with objects that have been contaminated with the fluids of the infected person. As I've mentioned, even sweat can promote that thing. And also another thing is avoid sexual contact with a man who have recovered from Ebola virus disease. First of all, you have that person needs to go to some tests. After that, that's when after confirming that this person is clear, his semen is clear, that's when you can now come and maybe do whatever you like. And then there are some healthcare workers who normally go to treat those people who have Ebola. For them, they should wear masks and also they should wear gloves and goggles when handling those patients who have Ebola disease. I think through that, they can be able to prevent that.
Okay, outbreaks such as the one related to Ebola can generate a lot of rumors and miscommunication, even panic about what the disease is. So how is it transmitted and how likely people are to get it? Talk about the need for educating people about facts versus myths.
Actually, thank you very much, first of all, for that question. That question is very crucial for people because in our healthcare systems, we've been able to get some calls, like people are really panicking about Ebola. They think that even like conversing with someone, they can be able to get it. So, first of all, people need to know the difference between facts and myths. So, there are some facts about Ebola which are true. So the first one is that do not touch sick people who show symptoms of Ebola. So some of the symptoms we have a fever, diarrhea, headaches, and sometimes even heavy bleeding. And that heavy bleeding can come from the eyes, from the nose. Like when you see a person like that, don't touch that person. First of all, call the healthcare workers to come and treat first of all that person. The other thing is that do not touch the dead bodies of suspected or confirmed Ebola patients. So when someone is dead, that virus is still there. It has not yet died with the person. So you should not touch that person, let the healthcare workers handle that person. And also another thing, how to prevent it, wash your hands with water and soap regularly. So in most cases, like in most cases of our lives, we find that you can greet someone, but you never know, the person might be having the virus. So always after maybe contact with someone, like greeting someone, you can just be going to wash your hands and then you'll be safe from that. So let me now come to the myths. So people have been saying having conversations with people from Africa could give someone Ebola, but it's not true. Because if I'm talking to you, I'm not coming into contact with your bodily fluids or something of sort. So that cannot cause any disease or any Ebola disease. So, and then another thing is one cannot survive when he contracts Ebola. This is very wrong, because when Ebola is maybe confirmed earlier, you can be able to be treated and overcome that. And then also we have banning travels will prevent Ebola. This cannot totally prevent that, because when you ban people, they want to go outside and visit places. Why do you ban them? So what you should do is just to test them as they cross the borders or something of sort, instead of banning them from going to visit places. Yeah.
So how about the complications that Ebola raises for the rights of travelers and the responsibilities of governments? Like, let's say an example of Kachigi Cox, a nurse from Maine who returned to the States following a trip to West Africa in the fall of 2014, and promptly had quarantine-related restrictions thrust upon her restrictions that she was very much against. So briefly describe the difficulty of balancing individual rights and governmental responsibility.
So first of all, this was a very sudden case because when you just prevent someone from going to work after coming from treating people, that is not a good thing. So the difficulty comes when the government feels the needs of protecting the citizens. So when the citizens start complaining that there is a person who can infect us with that Ebola, then the government might feel that they need to do something in order to prevent the citizens from rioting. So the difficulty comes when that government, they need to protect the citizens. So this can make them to maybe go against the right of one individual, which is not good. So that is where the difficulty comes. So the government should just, first of all, maybe consult healthcare workers before quarantine, maybe someone who is from the Ebola-stricken areas. First of all, they have to seek some medical advices from those people, first of all, and then that's when they can take the next step, because each individual has his or her own rights. So they need to do that in order to just make sure that every individual's right is being followed. Yeah.
So let's talk about the use of smoking and tobacco, so which is considered a big world health problem, and raises similar issues to Ebola in terms of rights and responsibilities. Just about everyone knows that smoking harms health. So what does it do to the body?
So smoking has a lot of impacts on the body. So smoking leads to disease and disability and harms nearly every organ of the body. So in one study we found that more than 16 million Americans are living with a disease caused by smoking. Can you imagine that? 16 million Americans. That is quite a huge number. So how the smoking affects the body? We have smoking causes cancer. So the main cancer that it causes, we have lung cancer. So for example, it affects the lungs through giving it that cancer. So you see how it affects that body organ. And also we have heart diseases. So it really affects the heart. So when someone continues smoking a lot of times, it really affects them. So we also have stroke, which affects the brain. So when you smoke, a lot of times it can affect the brain. So we also have, it can cause diabetes, and also it can cause chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which we can also call COPD. So this is how it affects the body, actually.
So what about second-hand smoke? Can you just explain what that is and how it affects people?
So second-hand smoke is when tobacco gets into an environment and the people who are in the environment inhales the air and then it affects them. So for those people, they don't smoke, but when someone smokes, it goes to the environment and the people are being affected by that. So in another study, we found that second-hand smoke exposure contributes to approximately 41,000 deaths among non-smoking adults and also 400 deaths among kids. So you see, it's quite a big challenge. So how it affects people is that it also causes lung cancer to those people who inhale that air, and also it causes coronary heart disease in adults. So for children, when they are exposed to that second-hand smoke, they are at a risk of dying. So for example, it can cause acute respiratory infections, also asthma, it can cause that, and also it can cause slowed lung growth. So as a kid, their lungs are still growing, but when they inhale that smoke, their lung can be destroyed. So that is how it affects people. So nobody should just think that secondhand smoke is not a problem, but it's a big issue.
You know, people don't typically think that tobacco is a such of drug like heroin or cocaine, but the addiction it creates is strong, right?
Yeah.
Is it right?
Yeah.
So should we think of tobacco use as a form of substance abuse?
Okay, yeah. First of all, let me just define what substance abuse is. So, substance abuse is also known as drug abuse. So, is a patterned use of a drug in which the user consumes the substance in the amounts of or with methods which are harmful to themselves or others, and is a form of substance-related disorder. So, for me, I can consider tobacco as a form of substance abuse. So this is because it contains a substance called heroin, no, not heroin, but nicotine, which is very addictive. So when someone smokes like once, then you'll feel the urge of taking it every time. So I consider it as a form of substance abuse because as I defined earlier, substance abuse is when you take it like a lot of times and then it affects your body. And as I talked about it earlier, tobacco causes some diseases on the organs. So when you see that, that means that this is a form of substance abuse because the more you take, the more it causes you harm in your body. So that's why I can say that tobacco is really a form of substance abuse. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Dr. Fiona. This is the end of our mission, and thanks for talking to us about global issues related to health. And thanks everyone for being there with us today.